lovelies, it's Lex, and I have another speed build for you today. So I decided that I wanted to try to create a kind of like city loft looking sort of studio apartment, penthouse bedroomy kind of thing. And I knew that I wanted to try to do a bed that had a really high headboard on it. So since I remember that we had that new couch from City Living that had like all the cushioning in the back with the really, really high back on it, the really modern looking love seat, I knew I was going to use that as the headboard for this bed. So that was the general idea going in. So that's the sofa I'm talking about. If you don't have the pack or haven't seen it yet, but so that's the little couch love seat that I'm talking about that has the really, really high back on it. And then I just added one of the more like modern looking beds and then doubled it up and made it a little bit wider. So I think that it worked out really well, looking like a nice, really high backboard for it. And then I am periodically going to have that sim there. That's Ruby Love. She's in my gallery if you guys like the look of her or are interested in her. I kind of just left her in while I was building just to make sure that the bed, continued to work. And then I have her do playtest a few other things as well in the room because I did use the move objects cheat on this room. So I do like to playtest those. I know some people get like weird about certain rooms and they're like, oh, well, you did this, but it doesn't work. And it's like, I usually try to playtest my rooms to make sure that everything does function for you. Sometimes there is going to be stuff that doesn't work that's just there to look at, but most of the time when I use that, things do work in my rooms. So I was gonna try to do that thing with this mirror here that I talked about in a few speed builds ago. I think it was the Future Fashionista room. I talked about it where I was gonna try to connect those, the closet and that mirror, and have it kind of like rounded, and I don't know. It didn't work for this room either, so I don't know when I'm gonna actually do that. I don't know if I ever actually will. I think it's still a great idea. I just have to find the right space for it. Just going in and changing some of our stuff to brick here so it has a little bit more of that like city feel, and that's one of the reasons I went with the windows that I chose as well. The like full-size windows that are kind of sectioned off. I thought they were a little more like city loft, city-esque. And then the other wall, I've really been liking that new tile that came with the City Living. I did use it in an office as well. It's probably meant to be for kitchens or for bathrooms, but I just really like the kind of like blockiness of it. So this room's kind of like what ends up happening when I make rooms is it starts off as it's supposed to be one certain type of like style, but it never stays that way. So some of the stuff in here is modern, some of it's in here is like a cutesy thing, some of it's just like eclectic kind of stuff, but I was pretty happy with how it came out. And then that's our new coffee table there that has like the little fake fireplacey kind of thing in it. TV, just a little chair. The dresser and the mirror, everything is play tested, like I said. And then the only other stuff that we really have in here is like some art pieces on that one far wall. I was kind of thinking about putting a desk in here too, because if you were going to make this be in a penthouse or be in an apartment, you might not have as much space. But I mean, those penthouse lots are pretty decently sized, so you definitely will have room if you add this to a penthouse or whatever. But you could totally just add this to a regular like lot if you wanted to. My rooms are very nondescript. You can do whatever you'd like with them. But that's about it for this one. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.